If you're a business owner and you want to grow your brand on social media, you have to avoid this mistake that's going to destroy it all for you. I have built a following of over 2 million people across different platforms on social media: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. My business partner has built an audience of over 400,000 people in the German-speaking market alone in the weight loss niche. We help business owners, founders build an authentic, premium brand on social media so you can build trust, reputation, get more clients, and get the public recognition that you deserve for being the expert that you truly are. Now, if you're starting out with building a brand, you have to avoid the following mistake, which is to be the same as everybody else. You have to differentiate yourself. How do you differentiate yourself? Well, there's a couple of wrong ways to differentiate yourself. We've all heard there's no such thing as bad press. Well, that is factually not true. Do not just stand out for the sake of standing out. You already have a successful business. Don't destroy it just because you want to go viral. That's not what this is about. And you can stand out wrongly in stupid ways. It could be TikTok dances. It could be talking about politics or religion. It could be sharing too much personal stuff. It could be saying something that you don't actually believe. The way you actually differentiate yourself is one, by actually just showing up and by being you. In marketing, there's something called the mere exposure effect. If you were in a country that you've never been in, let's say you're in Jerba in Tunisia, for example, and you're in a shop and you're thirsty because it's 40 degrees in the summer and they have Coca-Cola and Schmokamola, you will always take Coca-Cola. If that's the only choice, yeah, because you trust it. Because there's a hidden cost of the unknown. So you will always go with what you know. So your first job is to just show up. Just build visibility. And just by you being you and having a different face and your little quirks and authenticities or eccentricities, pardon me, that come through authentically, they make you you. And by simply showing up as you, you already differentiate yourself, because most other, let's say, surgeons, marketing agency owners, business owners, finance guys, luxury real estate, whatever you happen to do, it doesn't matter. They don't even have a brand. Yeah, you see some people, but you're not really competing with 95% of people. Let me draw an analogy to dating. If you're on a dating app as a man, you think you're competing with all these profiles. It's also not true because most guys' profiles suck. So you're only competing with the top percent who are naturally so talented or good looking. And then there's some who actually have a good profile, but 80% you're not even competing with. It is so easy to stand out and differentiate yourself. And the way you do that is, we've talked about that in one of the previous videos, write down the 3 questions. Who am I? Where am I going? And with whom? Write down your values. And then you find stories to tell. I want to touch on stories. The way you differentiate yourself is by telling your own stories, or the story of the business, or of another employee that you've hired, or your business partner, that relate to your ideal target audience, your ideal clients. For example, in dating, I would talk about my ex-wife. It's a real story. Don't lie. Don't make shit up just to sound good, because people have a bullshit detector. Yeah, do you see some people faking it for a while and still winning? Yeah, but karma always comes and eventually they crash. If you are in it for the next 5, 10, 15 years until you either want to sell and exit or you really want to pass this on to your kids someday, you are probably in it for the longer term, not just for the next couple of months. So it needs to be sustainable, and therefore it has to be built on authenticity. And it's only effective if the authenticity is paired with certain traits that your target audience can actually relate to. So for example, I could tell you stories from my life that you couldn't give 2 damns about. They're not relevant. But ask yourself, in my past, about my whole company and the way it's been, the way it's come up and who we're serving, is there an incident of, oh, we served this one client? And instead of just making it a pure pitch and a call to action video, because One of the biggest mistakes a lot of business owners make, they make everything call to action, call to action, call to action. They just start pitching. They think marketing is just pitching. No, it's not it. You need to offer some sort of value. So can you tell a story of how you helped somebody? And you tell that in an emotionally engaging way. And then it becomes a TikTok video, it becomes an Instagram video, it becomes a Facebook video, it becomes a YouTube short. It can become a long form video on YouTube. You can package it depending on the context. On LinkedIn, you can write about it. You have already so many stories that you're just not telling, or you're telling them in an unbelievably boring fashion. You suck at storytelling right now. That's a fact. But the good news is it's just a skill set. You can learn that. Okay, so having helped certain clients, that's a type of story you could tell. What's another story you could tell? Your founding story. Okay, you've told that already. What would be a different angle? And remember, you don't just have one client avatar. You have different customer segmentations. So within all of your clients, you have client segmentation A, client segment B. So how can I change the story or tell the same story and address points that resonate with all of them? Because they don't need to resonate with the whole story, but only with certain elements. Clients you've helped, your founder story, something personal about your why. Now, it can't be some BS that you're just doing because somebody told you to do it because you saw a freaking TikTok video about it. No, it has to be something that's actually in your core. Why are you doing what you're doing? If you communicate that in a way where it's relevant, you will win. Relevance is key. Differentiating yourself in a relevant way, relevant to your ideal target audience. And it comes back to understanding who I am, where I'm going, who I want with me, those values we've talked about previously in one of those videos, and then writing stories that are so emotionally or rationally engaging that it would be stupid for somebody not to buy from you. You have to tell stories in a way where if somebody listens to you, it is obvious that you are not just a good choice, but that you are the best. Example of a surgeon. If I were to go to a shoulder surgeon or a gum surgeon, whatever advice they give me, I'm probably going to believe it. Maybe I'll have ChatGPT 5 with me to verify that a little bit if I'm a smart individual. Yes. But whatever recommendation they give me, I'm naturally going to go with it. So you need to not just do that when you have people in person, for example, but tell that story broadly. So you communicate 99% of the people you'll meet them online. It'll be on Instagram. It'll be on Facebook. It'll be on YouTube Shorts. It comes back to creating that content machine that's creating visibility for you right now. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands of versions of me floating around in the ether of people watching my videos. That's literally happening right now. Thousands, hundreds of thousands, I don't know how many of the 2 million followers plus other people are watching it right now. You can get a machine going that tells your stories for you. You record it one time like this, and then this video can become an Instagram reel. It can clip something out of this. Facebook Reels have amazing reach, YouTube Shorts, and YouTube long-form content. I would generally advise to make more long-form on YouTube and get the reach from Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, but YouTube is really a long-form one. Because you go to YouTube to go deep. Because if you're actually considering buying somebody's service, or you at least, you're considering it, maybe now, maybe in a couple of weeks, couple of months, you want to get to know that person. And YouTube creates depth. So you need width and you need depth. All of it has to be relevant. So you know exactly who you're talking to. And then you start telling stories about customer successes, founder stories, whys, how to, what you do, and why it's fun. It's a big story game. And then there's tons of different formats on social media that you can use that can help you deliver that story and actually get views. Because the unfortunate reality is, if you suck in front of the camera, you can either get good at it or you can let somebody else do it. But sucking in front of the camera is more about the setup and the systems and the frameworks as opposed to some magnetic, charismatic aura. It's not about that. Anybody can be charismatic and have an aura in their own way. Your communication style is different to somebody else's, to mine, to my videographers. It just has to be congruent to you, and you have to use the right copy, the right language that creates relevance in the mind of the people who will consider buying from you, or your partners, or your employees. If you would like us to help you with that personally, if you're a business owner, a founder, and you're serious about growing a successful brand authentically on social media, click the link below and apply for a free initial consultation. During that call, we'll sit down, we'll map out a plan based on your individual situation. We'll figure out where you're at, where you're going, what the delta is, and we'll see if and how we can help you. Fill in the form. Looking forward to speaking with you soon.